Hello everyone, I'm Yvonne, a children's librarian here at the Manchester City Library, and I want to welcome you to Elementary Experiments this winter. Here we are going to do experiments and activities aimed at elementary grades 1 through 6 with a focus on STEAM or science, technology, engineering, arts, or math. With school and winter breaks, we know that everyone has things to do, so we will continue to post 2 elementary experiments here online and then do them together on the last Tuesday of the month at 3:30 p.m. at the Manchester City Library. So if you want to join us in person, do please go to our website to register to make sure that we have enough supplies and crafts for everyone. So we are continuing to post here to share our crafts and activities with as many people as possible. But if you are in grades 1 through 6 and you like what you see, remember that we will be doing our monthly wrap up in person on the last Tuesday of each month. So now that we have gotten all of that covered, let's get into this week's elementary experiments. Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's elementary experiments, where our theme is going to be waiting for snow. As of right now filming this, we have had some snowfall, but it hasn't really been enough to do anything fun. So we're going to make our own fun snow this week, as well as some snowless snowmen. This is our very first winter elementary experiment, so welcome if this is your first time jumping in. So this is going to be the first Tuesday of the month. We are going to have another video go up on the third Tuesday of the month. And I want to remind everyone that on the last Tuesday of the month, we are going to do all the things we're going to do in this video in person at the Manchester City Library. So if you weren't able to get all the supplies or you just didn't want to do it by yourself, that's totally fine. You can come and do it with us if you have the time. So I'm going to get the stuff together for our very first experiments. And like you at home, I actually don't have one of the ingredients right now to do one of the fake snows, but we will have it at the Manchester City Library so we can both have fun doing it together in person. All right, I'm going to get that and we're going to meet back. All right, so here we are. As always, I have my nice tray to sort of protect my work area. We've got 3 bowls. So if we did have our third experiment, that would be 1 bowl each. Fortunately, we are going to have to skip that one. But then I do have a couple of extra bowls for our baking soda and vinegar before we combine. I have some measuring cups. I have paper towels, baking soda, vinegar, water, scissors, and if like vinegar bothers you, you might want to also see if you can find a pair of waterproof gloves to help you enjoy this experiment. But I think this is all that I need at the moment. So as mentioned, the first experiment would be using instant snow, which I have used before and is really cool. But unfortunately, I don't have here today. But it is made up of synthetic polymers that are highly absorbent. So that means that if there's any water, they just suck it right up. It's actually very similar to what is found in diapers. And if you got permission and you had some diapers, you might actually be able to use some of the stuffing inside in place of the instant snow. Like I said, ask, diapers are expensive. So in general, you just follow the directions on the type of instant snow that you have access to. And that's to put some of the instant snow into your bowl and then add the specified amount of water. If you don't know how much water, then just add a little bit at a time. And you will be amazed at how quickly, just a tiny bit of instant snow will puff up by absorbing all the water and become a whole handful of snow. And like I said, it has a very cool texture. It's very, very interesting to like feel it as it happens. So we will do that in person on the last Tuesday of this month at the Manchester City Library. Just I won't be able to show it to you right now. But we do have our other two fake snows. So the next one is going to be our baking soda fake snow. So we're gonna have our big box of baking soda, and I'm going to put 4 tablespoons, that's tablespoon with a B, of baking soda into my bowl. Okay, I'm pretty sure that was 4. And then I am going to add a tablespoon of water. So I have my little container of water. I'm just going to do a scoop. And now I'm just going to mix that up. I'm going to go ahead and use my hands because I know that it's fine. Baking soda and water is not going to hurt me. I might want to add a little bit more, but you have to be really careful about adding too much water to our baking soda snow, because it will become really soupy, which is a fun experiment for another time, but it's not really what we're trying to do here now. So if you guys can see, it actually already with just this amount of water looks pretty cool. We've got some nice snow packs together. So this looks like it might be a cool snow that you could build some really cool like snowmen and stuff in. It looks like it would pack really well. But we're going to move on to our last fake snow. This is a weirder one, so we're going to see how it turns out. We're going to take our paper towel, and I do have scissors, so you can either cut up the paper towel or you can rip it up. I'm not sure. It'd be interesting, like an interesting secondary experiment to see if there was a difference between if you cut the paper or if you rip the paper as to what kind of snow you ended up with. But basically what we want to do is we want to get enough pieces so that, oh, and I'm putting it in this. This is half a cup, but we actually want a full cup of little paper cut or ripped pieces. So I'm going to fill this up, and then I'm going to dump it in the bowl, and then I'm going to fill it up again, and then we will do our next step. All right, that took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, but we have our paper now, and we're going to take our 1 cup of paper and we're going to add 1/2 cup of our baking soda to it. Okay, and we're going to mix that up a bit. Now we are going to measure out 3 tablespoons of vinegar into an extra little bowl. And then we are going to slowly add it to our mix. So if you guys have ever played with baking soda and vinegar before, you probably know there's going to be like a fizzy reaction that goes on. So we're going to be prepared for that. And then we are going to see how our snow turns out after that is all settled down. But first, okay, so now we are going to pour this together. You can see that reaction happening. All right, here we go. All right, so if you guys can take a look at this snow that we have got from that reaction, definitely a different kind of snow than the one that's just with the baking soda and the water. But it definitely is a snow that I kind of recognize still. So that is all of the fake snow recipes that I have at the moment. Certainly feel free to try and find your own. You might want to have an adult look over it first, of course, to make sure it's safe, because when we do science, we want to be safe first off, and then have fun second. I hope that you enjoyed doing these. If you could find the supplies at home, or if you don't have all the supplies like me, we will do all 3 experiments together on the last Tuesday of this month. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of that, let us do our craft, where we are going to make our snowless snowmen, this time out of paper, but it's still pretty fun. So let me clean up this, and then I will meet you back here. All right, everyone, welcome back to Waiting for Snow. This is our craft, where we are making a 3D snowman ornaments. You have almost everything you need in your kit, but you are going to need to get some scissors and whichever glue of your choice. I was able to do this with just a glue stick, so if that's what you have, that'll work. And of course, liquid glue will work as well. Just don't put too much on because that takes forever to dry and gets all soggy. You can also, if you want, you can use some extra coloring materials or things to decorate your snowman with. But that is up to you. I might just do a more simple version because I like to show you guys kind of like a baseline, and then you can be really creative afterwards. So in our kit, we are going to have 8 smaller circles and 8 larger circles, as well as a few scraps of construction paper, some orange, some blue, some red, and a string. So our first step is going to be to go ahead and cut out all of our circles. So this is going to be fun, but we got to get it done. And of course, if you don't have our kit, if you can't make it to the Manchester City Library, or maybe even you are actually not in grades 1 to 6, but thought, hey, this is a really cool craft to do. Of course, you can always make your own circles. So you can just find something at your house or wherever you are at the moment that you are allowed to trace. So you can just get 2 different things that are circles and kind of look at how they look proportionately. So proportion is kind of what 2 objects, when 2 objects are placed together, how they appear in relationship to one another. You can do some really cool things with proportion too, because if you think about like movies, right? So if you have a movie where like humans, adults, or just human beings are supposed to look very, very small, then you can actually use proportions and perspective to make them look a lot smaller than they are in real life. Even if you have like 2 people who are like the same height as each other, but you can use perspective to make one person look a lot smaller than the other person. Or you can use proportion, which is like if you have a normal sized person, but then you give them like a huge like button to hold. So it looks like they're very, very small and just like standing, like if they were to stand on my sweater, they'd be this small because the button is so big. But in our case, we want to look at the proportion of the 2 circles that we're using. Because if this is the bottom part of our snowman and this is the top part of our snowman, we want to make sure that proportionately they look nice to us. Because like if we had like a really, 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 really teeny head, that might look a little bit funny. Or if they were too close together, we might be like, wonder why the snowman's head is as big as its body. Unless you want your snowman's head to be as big as its body, because you know it is your snowman. But I just thought that that was a good thing to think about. Even if you do have our kit, you might want to think about the proportion of things and how you might do it differently than how we did. right, so now we've got all of our circles cut out. So now we're going to fold them. And this is where I thought a little bit ahead onto how we're going to put our snowman together. And so basically each of our circles is going to get folded in half. And then the two halves of the circles are going to be glued together, one on top of each other, until at the very end we're going to end up gluing those ends together so it all like becomes one ball as opposed to one circle. And so when I was thinking about that, at least the ones in our kit, the circles in our kit have this black line around them. And I wasn't like the most careful as I was cutting them out. I don't know if you can see my edges, but if I fold all of my circles so that the printed lines are on the outside, then when they get glued together, all of the sides with the printed lines will get glued to one another, so that you actually won't see those and you'll only see like the blank white side. So that is what I'm going to do. As always, you are free to do what you want, including coloring every single circle so that none of them are white, because this is your snowman and you should do whatever you want with it. But I'm just going to show you the basic boring version. So let's fold all of our circles, and then we'll do the next step together afterwards. All right, so I've got a pile of small circles folded in half, a pile of large circles folded in half, and I'm going to take my glue stick, and I'm going to start with my large circles, and I'm just going to take my glue, and I'm going to take one side of the circle, and I'm just going to put a whole bunch of glue on it. If you're using a glue stick, you can kind of put a lot of glue. If you're using liquid glue, you only really need a little bit of glue just because of the way the two types of glue work. Then take your second half circle, and I'm going to put it onto the side with the glue and just line up this folded edge. We want to get that nice and straight. And then squish down, and we're going to repeat that. I'm going to put my glue on here, get my next circle, put it on top, like that. So we're getting kind of our stack going, and I'm just going to repeat that until all of my circles are piled on top of each other. And we can also do the same to our small ones. So we're just going to have a stack of half circles, and then we're going to do the next step together. Okay, so now we've got two piles of half circles that are glued together. Now we are going to take our string, and if you have string in your kit, it should definitely be enough. But if you have different string you want to use, or you don't have a kit, you want your string, if you lay your half circles together, you want your string to be twice as long plus a little bit extra to tie a knot, because basically we are going to loop our string, we're going to tie a knot at the bottom of our string, and then we are going to put our snowman around the string, and glue our snowman around the string. So we need it to be a little longer than our snowman, so we have a little bit of a loop to hang it from. If that's not clear, I'm going to show you, so no worries. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a good amount of glue in on this spine section. Remember, if you're using liquid glue, you don't want to drown it, but you do want to get enough on there so that it will attach to our string. And if you are using your own string, you do want it to be not very thick, because the thicker it is, the more the paper has to go around. So we've got a good amount of glue on the spine, and we're going to put some more glue on one side. All right. Now we've got glue on this side, glue on our spine. And we're going to lay our string. The bottom of the snowman is going to go at the bottom of our string, and we're just gonna kind of close that around it. And we're going to squish that down so our glue will adhere to the paper and around the string. See how that's right in the middle there. Okay, and we're going to do about the same thing with our head, but we have an added thing because this is the easiest way to add a carrot nose to your snowman. So I'm just going to go ahead and do, like, you know, the really usual triangle nose out of my orange construction paper. And it's a little bit long because some of it is going to get stuck into the head. So we're going to end up putting our construction paper onto the side. So we're going to get the spine, a lot of glue, just like the big circle. Then we're going to do 1/2 of the circle with glue, so one side. And then we're going to add our nose, wherever you want to put the nose, however long you want it to be. And remember, only the portion that is like on this side is going to be seen. And I'm going to add a little bit more glue on top of my nose. Then I'm going to do the same thing where the bottom part of the head of my snowman is going to hit the bottom of here. Is that the way I want it to be? Yes. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the string, a little hard to hold and show you guys, sorry about that. And we're going to wrap those sides around the string and squish. And then I'm going to fold these over. I think it helps. We're going to squish. And we do want it to be fairly close to our body, otherwise you will see like a gap of string in there. Again, if that's what you want, that's fine, but I am telling you that will happen. So I'm going to squish these, give that a moment to dry. Since I'm using a glue stick, it should be pretty fast. And then what we're going to do is we're going to we have to sort of fluff our snowman a little bit. So we're going to open up all of these, kind of evenly separate them. And then we'll do the same with our head. All right, and you can see how they're kind of three-dimensional now. It looks a lot more like balls. We've got our little nose stuck in there, really nice. And this is where you guys can really have some fun with your imagination to add things like eyes or like magical fairy dust or scarves. So, and that was what we were thinking when we included some extra paper, but you can do whatever you want with it. But if I wanted to make it into a little scarf, I would let's make it thinner. Get some tassels at the ends. Here we go. Now he has a nice, really quick scarf. But of course, I could add decorations to the scarf. I could use the red on the scarf to make it striped, all sorts of options. But this is our basic 3D snowman craft as we are waiting for snow so that we can build our own real snowman outside. Until then, this is going to have to do. You can hang it on a Christmas tree if you have a Christmas tree. You can hang it on your door handle. Maybe hang it in a window to sort of encourage the snow so that you can have some fun outside, maybe get a snow day. But yeah, I hope that you had fun. I had some fun making this, even if cutting the circles takes a little bit of time. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me for this week's elementary experiments, Waiting for Snow. I hope that you had fun, and I hope that we will have more fun if you guys come to our in-person elementary experiments, which this month, the last Tuesday of December, is going to be the 27th of December, which is also going to be during a school vacation week. So we're actually going to have quite a lot of stuff going on at the library that week, including elementary experiments. So if you or an adult want to go and check on the Manchester City website to see what kind of cool stuff is happening that week, go ahead and register for what needs registering that you can go to, that you want to go to, and we hope to see you there. But remember, we do still have another video before then, which is going to be on Tuesday the 20th. So I will see you back here online on the 20th for our second elementary experiments video, where we will be doing another activity and craft before our in-person event. But if you enjoy snow and want to read a little bit more about it, or learn a little bit more about how snow forms or stuff about like that, I do have some book recommendations that I will put on screen for you, and then the theme, so you can kind of think about what we might be doing. All right, that's all I have for today. So until then, bye.